Alright, welcome to another InDesign beginner to advanced course. In this lesson, we want to learn how to create a tripod brochure. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a new document. So create new, and then we want a number of pages to be 2 because it's going to be front and back. Also, you have to make the orientation landscape. You want to make the columns 3, and also want to make the gutter 0.16 inches, and also the margin 0.16 inches on all sides. Let's go ahead and make the blade 0.125 inches and also on all sides. Now let's turn off facing pages. Now let's hit OK. Now come to your layers panel, and then name the first layer as background. When we are making it a template, then we have to create all these layers in order for any person who buys from us to also get access to the layers. I'm coming back to your background because we want to start work from the background. Come to your pages and then go into your master pages, and then let's add some guides if it's optional. Okay, adding guides is optional. Then let's add some of the columns. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's see. 6 is okay. Let's add a row. Okay. Let's make the number of rows 4, and also this at 0.16 inches, the gutter. So it's optional. You can decide to omit it depending on after I design mine, and you see whether it is good to have it or it's not good to have it. So okay, so I just want you to know that always you can add guides to it in order for it to guide you as you go through the things. Now let's go back to our first pages. Now let's go ahead. Since we are in our background, we want to start with the background. And with the background, what I want to do first is I just want to pick my pen tool. Okay, so I want to draw something, then add my images to it. Okay, so I want it to start from this second page and it cross over to the last page. So let's start with what we want to create. So let's click here to add a point. Then let's come somewhere over here. And then click and drag it to make it something like this. So some people, you may decide to just be somewhere here and then also drag it this way. Okay, then you can also come here and then drag it this way. After that, you can just come here, hold alt, then click on the line, then just come here, and also come here, then join it over here. So after this, you can work on it to get a nice thing that, okay, so it depends on how you want it, so you have to be working on it so that it suits you. All you just have to do is just take the convert points, then you work on the points before you say that, oh, this is okay for me. Now I want to go ahead and remove the stroke from it, so I want the stroke to be none. It's okay for me. If I find any problem, I'll just go back to my convert points and then try it again. Now I want to duplicate this layer, so right click, copy, and then edit, paste in place. Now I want to change the color of the one I just pasted in place, so I want the fill to be black. Okay, now let's go back into our layer. We have two fills now. This is this one, and I want to hide this one and work on this. So I want to go to File, Place, then place in an image. So I want to go into resize files and then place in this image. So when you go into your resize files, inDesign resize files, your trifold brush share design, you just double click it, and then you, first of all, let's bring this color theme because you'll be using it. Open. It has replaced this one, so we don't want it that way, so hit Ctrl Z to undo, and then come and place it somewhere on the pasteboard. See, somewhere here on the pasteboard. Okay, now let's go back to and select this. Okay, now go to File, Place. You can just use Ctrl D, then let's place this and hit. Okay, now let's control the fitting and let's fit it proportionally. Okay, now you can double click it and then fix it ourselves. Okay, so when I think that is okay for me, I'll just leave it this way, and I'll come into the other path and then select this one. So I've now selected the black layer, and then I'll come into my what do you call the transparency. I want the blending mode to be color. Okay, so there we go. Opacity should be 100%. Now click on OK. Now I would just want to duplicate this. So right click, okay. So we already copied it, but we already have it copied. Okay, so edit. Now you have to paste in place. And now it has been selected over here. So now let's go to the fill, and then let's pick eyedropper 2. and you want to work on the fill. Okay, so let's choose this color. Now let's click back here if you want to change the color, and then come and click here, and that's it. Then just do it that way. Now we also want to change this to the transparency, so come to transparency and also change the blending mode to color. And then there you have it. So now we have this. You can play around with the color if you want the color to be maybe deep, if the color is not like the one that you want, then you just have to be playing around with it to make it more darker or lighter. So it depends on how you want yours to be. We are still working on the background, so let's go to the other layer or the other document, and also let's work on the background over here. I'm taking my time to explain it so that you get what I'm doing. I don't want to rush anything. So the same thing, you can just duplicate what you created, or you can create another one. So we want to use our pen tool this time again, and let's begin to create something. Let's click over here. Now let's come over here, drag it this way. Okay, now let's come over here to the inside, and let's click and do something like this. And then you can also come somewhere over to this place, and as we're doing it, you see that you don't want it this way, so you just have to hit Ctrl Z and then click on Alt, then click here. Now you can come over here, then work on it like this. Okay, so let's hold Alt again and click here. I think I will have to forward the video at some part so that it becomes a little bit faster. Okay, so let's go ahead and also add an image to this. As I was saying, you could have copied it. So let me copy this. And then you change the opacity. Okay, so you can do that. I think it is also cool when you do it that way. Right, so let's see. Effects, transparency, and the mode normal, and then change the opacity. think it's okay. Now we are not done with the background. We have to add some elements to it, but in the meantime I wanted us to go ahead and make the other designs, and then we'll come and add the other elements later. So let's go ahead and add some text to it. Then we want to be working on this one, page 2 and 3. And let's come into our text layer. You can now close the background layer. Now hit W to start your working. So I want to add some text to it. Then let's fit the spread to the window. Let's come here. I have some text file in the size file, so you have to go and bring it to file, please, and then you look for it. It's here, and make sure to show import options and then hit OK. And make sure that this one is checked, then hit OK. Now come and paste it on your pasteboard. Okay, there we go. Now I want us to select this, Ctrl C to copy, then come here, Ctrl V to paste, Ctrl A to select. Now you want to be using Arial font. So let's say I want to use Arial Black. Then let me add some of the size. Okay, I think this is okay. And let me come bring it over here. Let's make the size 30. Okay. Now one thing that I've taught you is that you can go into your borders, okay, because you have to add some borders. I've taught you two ways of doing that. It's either you add the shading to, you just draw a rectangle, use your rectangular tool to draw the shape, or you come to your shading and then check it over here. You can also do that in your paragraph 2, and you want the color to be black. Then let's change the opacity to 100%. Okay. Now since our text is also black, you won't be able to see it unless we change it. Ctrl A. Let's change the text color to white. This paper. Now let's go back to properties, and then Alt and click. So let's add some of the offset. Okay. Now let's uncheck it this way. Let's remove some of the right this way. Okay, there we go. Now let's remove some of the bottom. I think we are good to go. Then we just hit OK. So fitting. So we are supposed to make the fitting before we are supposed to make the fitting before we change the what do we call it, we added the shading. So make sure that if you want to add shading, you control the fitting before. If not, when you try to fit it later, control the fitting later, it won't work for you. I hope you get what I'm saying. Okay, so you see what I'm talking about. Okay, now so let's go ahead and duplicate this whole dot, and then duplicate it this way. And now let's also add another thing. Control C. Control A. And then let's paste it, right? And so paste without formatting. And then after doing this, we just have to come into our borders, hold out, and then click on the shading. So it'll be easy for you to just create a shape and then work on the shape. You can see that the test frame is too small for it, so it couldn't let us see what we are doing. Okay, so Control Z, then pick the test frame again, and let's delete the choice. Then come back. Let's add some bit of right like this, and then hit on OK. Okay, so let's go ahead and hold out, click to duplicate it. Okay, now Control E and then hit choice. Now so we have to change the colors of this shading, and from the way I did it, we have the color palette over here, and you can use the swatches panel and then create your swatches. Okay, so let's say create new, and then you can create your colors. Okay, as easy as that. You don't have to take the long process. Any color that you want to use, just create it and then you will start to work on it. Now let me select the tree and then come to my alignment panel. So align to, make sure it's aligned to selection, and then this. Then you can also control the distribution. Okay, because the distribution is not okay, so you can contribute the distribution. Okay, now let's say W. This, you see what the distribution has done. So you don't want this way, let's go to Control Z, and then you can also use this to control it. Okay, it's as simple as that. That's how to control the distribution. Now I want this to go upwards, as I am doing this, I'm also teaching different things. Now come here and then let's work on it because it's not that good. Now hold it and click. I'm sure this will take like 1 hour. Just want to make sure that I explain everything vividly. Now let's change the color. Alright, so let's go ahead and change our colors, and we want the education to have a different color and also the choice to have a different color. So let's go ahead and change the colors. Now come into your color swatches, and then you want to create a new color swatch. Okay, you go ahead and delete this from it. Also delete this. Okay, now come to here, new color swatch, and then it should be 190 for CMYK, 190, and we want the magenta to be 40. You want the this to be 85, and then you want here to be 40. Now let's click on OK. Now let's come over here again, new color swatch, CMYK, we want this to be 76, and we want this to be 98, we want this to be 22, and we want black to be 9. Now you can hit on OK. Now let's go back and select this. Now go into our properties panel, and then we want to make some adjustment to the shading. You want to change the color, so just come here, change the color to this, and also come to the choice and come here, so change the color to this. Now let's say W for preview to preview it. Okay, so now let's go to the next thing. We are adding some text, so that make sure that you are in your text too. Okay, in the text layer. Okay, so let's add some more of the text. Let's come here, then copy this. Let's come and create our text box. Let's select this and make sure that we bring it somewhere, because it has entered the other layer and we don't want that. It has entered the other document and we don't want that. So let's pick T for our text to then Ctrl V to paste, Ctrl A to select. Let's use Arial again. We want to be using Arial, so let's use Arial regular. I think 14 is good. Let's add a little bit of and that is okay for the tracking. Fitting, then fit frame to content. Now let's pick our type 2 again, then let's add our text. So since this is something like a deck, okay, an introduction, okay, so let's use bold. Okay, so let's say W to preview, and then let's come here. To make your work so easy, you can use the what we call paragraph styles to make your work very easy for you. So we won't be using Arial regular. And then let's clean some from it. Then let's pick our type 2 again. Then I want to create an imaginary a margin. So I want to bring it somewhere here. I also want to bring it somewhere here to create an imaginary margin for what I'm doing. Okay, so now T for our test. So we want to add our website to this. So www. So if you don't want to be doing this over and over again, that's why you have to create your style for it, so that it becomes very easy for you. Then you don't have to go and be doing these things. Let's add some tracking. Okay, Control B for test frame options. I want the alignment to be bottom, and hit OK. Let's look at what you've done so far. Let's go to view. So far, we're getting somewhere. Now let's go and do the second one. Then let's copy this. Then come here and draw a test frame. Control V to paste. Control A to select. Now we still want to use Arial. So we have Arial 15 points. And then let's bring it this way. Let's go ahead and add some text to it. So right click and fill with placeholder text. So we want to copy this. So hold dot and copy it somewhere here. Then Control E. And let's come and copy this. Control E. And then let's paste without formatting. Okay.